Welcome, everybody. I had Sami to warm you up, which was great. My name is Mikko Järvinen. I come from University of Turku, Finland, where I work as a desktop services team leader, and I'm also an MVP in software packaging, deployment, and servicing from the beginning of this year. Today we'll speak about packages and packaging and troubleshooting and debugging and do a few demos. The troubleshooting part, I think Sami covered some of the topics there already. We'll just have a bit of a different perspective of those, not security, but how actually we can do our job. Tools I'll use: InstEd, MSI Package Editor, sysinternals tools, Wix toolset, Wix Edit, Notepad++. How many of you do packaging or repackaging as your primary job? Cool. How many of you are IT administrators? How many of you deploy software? Yeah? Some do both. Okay. Chris Jackson last year, the App Combat guy, had a slide, desktop apps still matter. And yes, it's true. Although there are Windows Phone and iOS are taking place, but there's still this need for Windows Desktop for a long time, and there will be. So we need packages, the desktop packages. And we need good packages. Good packages because it makes deployments easier. With good packages, we have clean and manageable environment. And we get less contact to help desk, and we give better user experience for our customers, for the end users. They should be able to do their work. Or like Sami said, they would like to play Angry Birds, but okay. About user experience, I think this is a problem with the users. You know them. If users are happy, or if they think the IT is okay, or if they're unhappy with their computers, they give no feedback. I call this a zone of silence. They're just used to the fact that computers just usually don't work. They give some strange error messages. And the point when users give feedback is this. This is the feedback time. When they're real angry, they say, I have 2 years seeing this error message every time. When do you fix it? Sorry, we didn't know that. So by creating better packages, we should try to keep our users here on the happy side. This is a true story. Our university hosts the network for the student village. And in 2009, we got a package, a real package, not an MSI package, a real package to the IT services, and there were chocolates inside. And we thought that the candies are poisoned. But then we dared to taste them, and they were okay, but they were just happy for the service. And I hope that one day I will make such a good package for deployment that I'll get my own box of chocolates. Well, it's probably not going to happen. More about user experience. And also the first demo. Disable default web browser checks. Maybe HTML5 will help a little bit, but usually you just can't do your job with just one browser. And when you have 2 browsers or more, every manufacturer would like their browser to be the default browser. Of course, it's their product, their child. They want it to be used. But there is actually no such thing as a default browser. There are protocol associations in Windows, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, file type associations, .html, and the browser or Windows just trying to cope with those settings to provide users some kind of a experience that when you go to internet, you get a right browser, but user gets confused. So the first demo. I have Firefox and Internet Explorer here. Can't remember which one is the default browser, but these both have the default browser checking on. So Firefox is not currently set as your default browser. Okay, yes, I'm going to Internet. What user gets? Gets this. Zoom, it doesn't work with this. Good. Okay. Web browsers try to hide that strange HTTP : / part from the user. But now Windows asks user who is going to Internet that how do you want to open this type of link? There was no link. I open up my browser and it gives 3 options. Keep using Internet Explorer. I opened that Fox thing. Then there's Firefox and then there's some shopping bag. Okay? User probably selects Firefox because that's what she wanted to do. And she can do her work. Later time, if IE opens, or some program which has IE hard-coded to open some link launches up, with the same, not same, but a bigger announcement. Don't miss our browser. This is the best browser in the world. Okay, well, I probably should click this one. And again, okay, probably this one, this looks familiar. And I have configured the IE to always open on desktop, never on the user interface formerly known as Metro. And when I click this, what do I get? I get this one. And where did it go? And we get help desk calls. I have red arrow on my screen. I went to Internet. This is a bad user experience. So please, it didn't even start. That was cool. Disable default web browser checks. Just confuses the user. A good package. It supports silent install and, most importantly, silent uninstall. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where it's when you have under a hurry to uninstall a program and then the uninstallation crashes. It must be pre-configurable, can be upgraded or updated. It mustn't modify the system, just what the program brings to the computer. It must work with the local system account. The installation must work with the local system account because that's what used with the software deployments. And just do its job. Okay, so this is not like where the children come from for you because you know where packages come from, but just to give a little thought. We get packages from software vendor, from trusted partner, someone creating the packages or modifying them for us, and then in-house packages. These all are good, just have to think about the risk, the cost, the knowledge, configurations, how do you handle updates. For example, if the software updates frequently, is it clever to try to repackage it every time? Or could you use some partner who does that for you? Installation package, it's a black box. You must look inside. I have my MSI package here. So, without opening this, you can't tell what it does. Let's see what's inside. Is this good or bad package? This has files. Seems to be okay. This has registry settings. Okay. And this has the kind of a blueprint, how these are supposed to be on the system. Looks okay too. Then there's something which doesn't belong here, my my business card. Okay, probably we should dump that out from the package. But this looks okay. So when we have kind of approved the package, we can deploy it with, without worrying or without finding an issue when we uninstall the package. Setup.exes are a bit harder ones, or custom actions inside of the MSI. Just try to find out what they do and test them. And remember that the environment you're testing the package affects the result. If you have 32 or 64-bit environment, the result that what files or registry settings you get could be different. Packages from a software vendor. I only have one slide here. Be careful with product codes. Yep. This Redmond-based OS company, this is original of their product, but on version 5.8 they had this product code in their MSI, then they changed it for 6.2, and then for some reason, maybe the product code was so totally cool, the best product code ever, they took it back into the version 6.5. Maybe it was just a mistake, they took some old templates, and but you know, this could really mess your system if you don't do this kind of a checking. And there are products which can do this for you. Packages from a trusted partner. One slide for these two. Invaluable resource. Use them. And you can get packages which are pre-configured for the enterprise use. But the problem is, does the trusted partner really know your environment? So you have to cooperate and visit the sponsors. In-house packages. All kinds of packages that you create. MSIs, modifications, customizations to the packages. And what we have used is Wix toolset. Microsoft's first open source project. Since 2005, we have done all the packaging and basically also repackaging that we have to do with the Wix toolset. We don't do much, but it's free. It's hard to use in the beginning, but it follows strictly Windows install. You get good packages with it. It's mainly focused for software developers, so it's not a repackaging tool. It's a packaging tool. This is how Wix works. First we get our data sources, which are the registry files in directory, and we use the heat.exe, the harvester, to generate the Wix source files. Those are XML files. You can write them by hand if you like, but the heat helps a lot. Then we use candle.exe, the compiler, to turn those into object files, and then light.exe, which is a linker to link those object files into MSI package. Pretty much same as with the software developers do, but with the packages. Okay, then time for a second demo. I must admit that, now it's still there. Oh, okay. Let's do an MSI package from scratch. This is a font I have here. This is Adobe Blank. It's an open source font, which is actually an empty font. If you use this font, you can't see a thing. Could be useful in some places. Sorry. Now I'll just open my speaker's little help file, which I made during the Sami session, because standing and writing these commands and my shaking hands would fail. Okay, I have command prompt here. Data, fonts. I run the heat.exe. I harvest the directory, source directory, generate components, and I create component group, call it file components, generate GUIDs now, suppress fragments, use fragment template, suppress registry harvesting, and output XML file. And It's here, the WXS file. Let's open it with Notepad++ to see that it's really XML. It's kind of small. Here we go. Change the language to XML. Like this. Those of you who have done a lot of MSI packaging, this has the directory component file, looks familiar. Because this is a font, we'll have to change the name of this directory to fonts folder, so that Windows installer knows that these go to Windows fonts. Okay. And just look my notes that I won't forget anything. Yeah. Then we'll use another tool to generate the kind of the basics project, the skeleton for this product. Wix edit. Here, I will create a new project, and we don't need that P files. We already had our source folder. We have the basic things set up. Then we will change manufacturer to like this. Name could be AppManagEvent 2013. 14. Font, pack, change version to 0.0.1.0. Done. Package, comments, font, pack, description, fonts, media, files, and features. And now comes the powerful part of Wix. We have the files, the one file, in the component group, and we'll just we'll create a component group, ref here, into the file components, like this. Then a few properties. Add new ARP no modify. So Wix actually turns the MSI structure into XML, which is a bit easier to understand. All users 1. Now we will save this file as a project.wxs, and it's there. Okay, then we could start trying to kind of build our package, and for that I'll create one text document, make.bat, edit it. It was my little help file. So basically I'll just run candle, give it those two files, then run light, tell that source dir is the base directory, and it will put out MSI package, and it uses those two object files that the candle generates for us. Save, and if everything went okay, we can just run make.bat and see what happens. Now the light.exe is generating the object files. Light is creating the MSI package. And we get a warning. File blah 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 is not a font. Oh, it is a font. I thought that someone from from the audience wouldn't have noticed this. Let's open the Wix edit file, open our fragment files, file. This is the TrueType font file. We'll have to add a new attribute. Wix edit knows the attribute, so we're missing this. TrueType. Yes, we didn't tell Windows installer that this file is a font file. Save. And let's run it again. Okay, now error messages. What have we got here? MSI package, cool. Does it work? Let's try it. cd fonts, MSI, exec/I, AppManagEvent fonts. No user interface, no cancel buttons, installing. Oh, that was quick. Let's open write.exe. See if we have the font already. The power of MSI package is that Windows installer does the font registration for us. And if you want to get rid of this font, we just uninstall the package. Here it is. That's agent stuff. Now you can write with invisible ink. This is kind of a privacy filter too. Ninja mode for your documents. Oh, we don't want to save that. Another important thing to do is to test if our package also uninstalls. So /x, that was quick. And write again, and the font is gone. It just works. Let's use inst-edit to see how the MSI package was. So this is very nice and clean. No additional user interface. Here are our file, one file, it's a font. Our properties, that's useless. We could just delete that. Install, execute sequence, nice and clean, no custom actions, no nothing. So Wix is very powerful if you do this kind of stuff, and you have some, say, a small program that you wish to deploy, and instead of using Xcopy or Robocopy to deploy, this makes the deployments much more easier because you also get the uninstall from the MSI. Okay, testing and debugging. Sami did a great job because you already know how to use the sethg.exe and how to trick Windows to how you can get to use local system to open local command prompt as a local system. We want to use it because we want to actually test our packages using the local system account. If you use local administrator, it's a real user who has been logged on, but local system it's not a normal user. So those of you who do software deployments, how many of you use local system as to deploy your packages into, or do you have a, yeah, you use? How many of you have say a domain account? Installation account. Okay. So local system account, it's good because it's always there and it has all the powers. But the problem is that sometimes packages are not tested. So you should test your deployments using the local system. This is how you can get a command prompt or actually get into the local system's desktop. Since Windows 8, you have to change the registry key to allow the interactive services. This is something you probably have seen, interactive service injection. We'll just set up a service and pretend that it's a Windows service which just opens command prompt onto the local system session 0. And we'll see how it works. I've already set up the service, so what I have to do is just sc start my session 0 SVC, and it failed. But here on the taskbar, we have interactive service detection telling us something. A program running on this computer is trying to display a message. Okay, let's view the message. Who am I? Local system. This is local system's desktop. He's a real power user. No Explorer XE, nothing. And from here, you can do your debugging. I should have tested the font installation from here and uninstallation, because that's how the deployment solutions work in the end. From here, you can run Process Monitor, Process Explorer, whatever you like. Well, it's kind of a dull place. He's a very gray guy. Or somebody says that local system is female.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if local system was female, the background would have been pink.
No, the thing is that local service and network service are male, because they are service accounts to believe that they can do stuff.
Okay, yeah. Mrs. System. Then image file execution options. This is an old trick, but you can use this to open the command prompt in place of, say, set HG or XE. Just add this registry key for any XE and add their debugger value and give there some other XE, and you have actually replaced the launch of any XE file. This is how Process Explorer replaces Task Manager. You already saw this one, so we'll move forward. User-friendly mandatory software updates. The problem with this session 0 is that normal users can't see what is on session 0. I'll open Process Explorer. Then I will add session and username here. Let's move them here. I should have done this before the session. Then we'll launch. Hope this works. We'll launch Zoom it for local system. Never do this in live demo. Okay, let's see if it works. Cool. This works better. Let's just scroll down. Now, here we can see that we are actually running on session 0. And Mikko is having a session 2. But anything that is drawn on session 0, Mikko can't see that. But there are ways to break through that. And the problem if you do software installation, software deployments, is that you can't actually give users any kind of information that, hey, we have this really important software deployment going on, that could you please log off or turn off your browsers or whatever. So a quick demo how you can break through from this session zero isolation. And I'll use a PS exec, which can do that. Service UI from the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit can also do that, to draw the window for the user. I have a script mandatory install.vbs, which would be the one that we could launch. We give it as an argument name of the program. Let's call this that we would install the font pack using this, and debug 2, and we will output the log file.txt. Like this. VBS, which will run, and then it will informs the user, and then it waits until the user logs off, and at that moment it launches the installation and tells the user that now the program has been installed and you're free to use your computer again. Because laptop users, they don't do the log on thing too often. They just close the lid and continue the work. Oh, zoom it. Hope everything went well. We will get back from here. This is what user sees. This is for you Finnish guys. User gets a notice. We have really important software installation and you should log off, because the best situation when you actually update or install program is that when no one is using the computer. You could also do a check that don't have browsers running or things like that. We press log off. Okay, you're signing out. Now we probably get a small demo effect because these windows I'm drawing, they're just HTA files. No, it works, great. We get a notice that program is installing, please wait. It's actually not installing anything. The installation is just 15 seconds of sleep in the VBS file, but this would do the installation. And when the installation is finished, hope it was 15 seconds and not 15 minutes or something like that, we get another announcement, the installation is finished. And this is, again, another HTA which will actually kill itself after 30 seconds. And there's also OK button. And now we're ready to use the computer again, and we have the font pack installed. So that uses the same debugging techniques as Sami told and showed you. Evolution of packaging. Desktop apps still matter, but we can't fight against the change. There will be mobile device management. There will be, like Darwin had, the Office 365 click to run, which is a completely different world. And we can't help it. We'll have to adopt into the change. So it basically just means that we get more work, learn more. Mobile device management has been a kind of a promising technique to do things, but just recently there was when I saw that it's actually possible to using MDM to give the packages strings that the package, if it has the logic, it uses when it installs. So you could actually pre-configure your deployments with MDM, giving the correct server addresses and improving user experience. Because if you have instructions for the user that install that client, then type there this server address, and there are again HTTPs and some strange slashes and others backslashes. And so maybe someday those are closer to the user experience that we can currently get with the desktop programs. Microsoft OneGet, thanks to Microsoft, I believe I can't show you show you anything. On April, the Microsoft Management Foundation 5.0 preview had the new technology, Microsoft OneGet. How many of you have tried OneGet, tested it? I did. It had a nice idea that you could have different repositories, and as a sample, they had made a connector to the chocolatey.org repository where there's more than 2,000 packages ready there you could use. So just by using PowerShell commands, you could list those packages, install them. It's pretty much like apt-get from Linux world. But I tried Notepad++. The package was bad. There was left out all the localization files. So if I would have liked to use Notepad++ in Finnish, which I wouldn't like to do, but for some reason they weren't there. Then when I tried to uninstall the package, it didn't uninstall. I had to go find the uninstall string from the Windows registry to get rid of that package. So the package is important. It has to be good. The repository must be good. But this is a promising technology. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the chocolatey to work with this September update just came, and Microsoft had taken off the April package from downloads. Couldn't find it. I have it on some computer. So read the blogs. No demo. Thank you. This is the session code 222 for Friday. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions. Yep.
What is the file format that you get from the OneGet packages?
What is the
File format? Is that
file format? Oh, it's it uses the NuGet package format. The chocolate has its own. It could basically be anything. MSI, EXE. It's kind of a complicated. But the idea is that we have different repositories, but then comes the problem that are the packages good? Okay, thanks.